and the capacity in that office. Now, the issue that the colleagues are raising, it may be important issue, Chair, but I think we must not find ourselves again creating another parallel processes when we have the current public protector in place and then invite, in fact, I even say, colleagues are even saying public protector to Luma Donsela, rather say former, so that it's very clearly noted again. Maybe we have to deal with that part, Chair, so that we don't find ourselves having to create a particular, it's a very important person, by the way, who can help us a lot if we need that. But I think let us just try and deal with that in a way that it does not undermine the current office of the public protector. So I want us, let us process it. Let it not be a final thing that we sort of agree now. Let's process it as a committee, then I think we can be able to strike a balance there. I understand the line in which colleagues are coming with, but it's important that let us not make a conclusion on it now. Let's process it, meaning that we look at the legalities and all of that of all of those issues, because the fact is that she has just finished her term, and we know that she's the author of the report, but I want us to really apply our mind properly. Then we can come back. There's nothing wrong. If that we agreed upon and the lines are clearly defined on her role, what is going to be her role, how does she represent that office, does not, it's important that we clarify those things. Then it will be okay, because we'll need, as much as possible, anyone to come in and to appear before the committee. Nothing stops the committee, in fact, to invite anyone. So, but I'm saying that let us not find ourselves having to create unnecessary tension in a very volatile situation. I'll be happy. But again, I've missed the point that Honorable Ndlozi raised. I wanted to ask him to take with you in confidence on the issue of Sophie Mokoena, if there was any other thing. But I would have missed the point that he, in fact, they already has made a comment on why Sophie Mokoena must be invited. Some of the issues, I think we may not want to blow them out. In fact, if you look at the current situation, Chair, where there's so much intimidation of journalists and all of that, I think it's important that even the men and we should deal with this list. We deal with it in a way that it does not put people's life at danger, because if it is now known that so-and-so is going to be appearing in the committee to give evidence, it may create a problem because already we're dealing with the problem. So we have to, again, look at that particular area quite very serious moving forward. Thank you.
Honorable Khoza, Honorable Waters, and Honorable Ndlozi. And, all right, then it will be Khoza, Walters, Ndlozi, Van Damme, and Killian.
Chair, I think it's important that as this ad hoc committee, as we start on a very on a note that is kind of positive, and we work as a team. And I certainly support the members that are saying we should include certain people. But I do think that it's going to be absolutely important that we clarify the process as was outlined by Honorable Chauke, so that we don't end up with a challenge. And especially when we are dealing with institutional reports, because those reports, you don't want to end up getting into that space, but it is important that we get the information from primary sources. I agree. I don't think there is any question around that.
Honourable Waters.
Chair, I would like to reiterate the fact that we should be calling the previous public protector to the before the Ad-hoc committee, and we should make a decision on that today. There's no point in deferring the matter. I don't see what the actual problem is, and I agree with the honourable member that we should be getting, comment from the primary sources. The primary source here for the report, as the author of the report, is the former public protector. And I don't see what the problem is in inviting her to come and give evidence before the committee and for us to ask her questions. I really don't. I think we're making a mountain out of a molehill here.
No. Don't get into dialogues, you, Waters and Khoza. Honourable Ndlozi. Look. Yes, Honourable Ndlozi, yeah. And then you'll be followed by Van Damme.
Thanks, Chair. The Honourable Chauke must help us because he's saying we must defer the matter of the former public protector, but he's not substantiating. He says there might be problems, but he's not saying what those problems are. He may say there might be tensions. He doesn't say between who. So we're now having to speculate together with him. he's not doing his job. He should come, and when he opens his mouth, allow all of us to help him or help us. Now, the response that Honorable Khoza gives, you can hear it's in anticipation. You are going to have to work as a team. But in the team, please, when you speak clearly. Look, don't put us in a situation where we have to do guesswork. We think the former public protector must come, one, because she's the author of the report. We don't perceive of any problems. And you must, if you disagree, state why. Don't say, no, let us apply our minds. We did not leave our minds at home. Our minds are here. We've applied them. So I think Honorable Chauke must rise to the occasion of the competence that is already demonstrated here by stating clearly, Chairperson. And I think you should, in the process as well, push us so that we don't circumspeculate. When a person is speaking, push them to make the point as clear as possible, to save the day, to save the time, but also for that type of competency that I think I'm already sensing you are pushing us to. Finally, I also did not understand his response to the name of Sophie Mokoena. Now that people are going to be known, Sophie Mokoena has the right to say, I'm scared, I don't want to appear. As a journalist and other journalists that are here. What is the real thing that Honorable Chauke is saying yet again on the name of Sophie Mokoena? I'm stating the fact. She's the most senior journalist. She's a political editor at the moment. What more do you want? If you disagree, help us with facts. Please, Chairperson, that is my appeal, so that we're able to deal. Otherwise, I want to restate that I think we should interview Advocate Thuli Madonsela because she authored the report. And then two, I think we must interview Sophie Mokoena as part of the journalists that have already been identified here. We must add her in, and I've substantiated why. If Honorable Chauke feels different, can he please give us reasons?
I'm going to knock all of you. No, I'm not going to allow that. I'm not going to allow that. I'm going to appeal to all members that really we work as a team, and it doesn't mean that we don't have to disagree with each other across, whether it's party lines or even individual lines, but let us try and keep this ship together, because I think at the end of the day, it is about Parliament re-exerting its authority. Not individual parties, not point scoring. It's about Parliament reasserting its authority. So I'm going to keep that line of discipline. Those that want to argue politically, we will really appeal to you that let's put Parliament first. Honourable Van Dam.
Thanks, Chair. Covered about the former public protector. We need information from primary sources. We're dealing with big problems at the SABC. We cannot have someone who'll come and give us hearsay information. We need the former public protector. And then can I also raise the matter of security? We said we'd discuss that when we were discussing the witness list. Can we...
Ma'am Van Dam, sorry, I'm sorry to do this to you. Can we just finish the list first, just in terms of the names, because that will then apply to any and everybody that's on that list. So you'll be the first one to talk when it comes to that one. If we just finalize the names, because it should be security for everybody that might be in that situation as opposed to only one or two. So you will be the first one. I've not left that point out. Is there anything else other than the security now? Killian.
Thank you, Chair. I think what we have is we have the addition of the Minister, the Company Secretary, and Sophie Mokoena, if she's available, plus the two board members who've just resigned. And I would also like to add the Advocate Thuli Madonsela in her capacity as the former and the author of the report. But that does not replace the office of the public protector. If we can agree to that, then I think that is moving forward. Thank you.
Honourable Chauke, and you'll be the last one, Honourable Khoza.
I'm opening my mouth again, Chair. I was not being personal, by the way. I thought that we then have to deal with it via that office. rather than just having an invite without communicating with the Office of the Public Protector. The current, I mean, not even the current, the Office of the Public Protector. In our invitation, Chair, as we do that, I think we should sort of state clearly that we are inviting the office and we invite the previous public protectors, the member has put it. That's my point. In fact, I was not much differing to a point that I said we can invite anyone that we are to invite, but I think we must be very clear, all of us. If members have clarified that part, then I'm okay. I'm okay with it.
Honorable Khoza.
Chair, I just wanted to reiterate what we've said. I think it's very important for all members to remember that this process is primarily about the restoration of public confidence, especially in SOEs and in public companies such as SABC. And I think if we move from that premise, then we are going to be able to achieve that desired results that everyone at home is looking at, is expecting from this process.
All right. The list before you, before the additions, is accepted. As nobody has contested any of those names. Yes. We also all agree that we will add the current company secretary. We all agreed that we will add the minister. There was discussion around the name of Sophie, and I see no problem. Sophie Mokoena, Miss Sophie Mokoena. I see no problem in that respect. There was a request, not a request, of course, a suggestion on the name of Advocate Thuli Madonsela. Members, I'm looking at our terms of reference, and you know, part of our terms of reference actually says, in response to the Public Protector's report when governance fails. Now, members are saying Advocate Madonsela was the buck stopped with her, let's put it that way, even if she didn't write the physical report. But we are also saying that we are going to address a letter to the Public Protector for the office to also be there. Can I appeal to members that we accept it as such? In other words, the Public Protector will send somebody, and there shouldn't be a difficulty in Advocate Madonsela, because it's not about the Public Protector. Let me also remind everybody here that our work is not about the Public Protector. It's about at least 6 aspects of it. This is only about one aspect of it. It's only about one aspect. We'll deal with it in half an hour, out of the way, because it's about evidence gathering. Nobody's going to come here and say, well, it's evidence gathering. That evidence will still be processed by all of us. The final point I want to make, members, is that members here indicated the urgency of this matter. And I don't want to then stop relevant information. But we can't have a non-ending list of witnesses and then expect that we finish timeously. So whilst we're doing all this, just bear in mind that the number of witnesses have a direct impact in terms of when we finish our report. So I want to first put it on the table that we are adding just those 4 names. The 4 names are the company secretary, it's the minister, it is Ms. Sophie Mokoena, and it's Advocate Thuli Madonsela. Yes, we have. I thought we had agreed earlier on the 2 board members that had resigned. No, the board members had always been on our list previously. Yes, I'm saying when we started this process, there were 3, which included these 2. Is there any opposition to my proposal for that to be our final? And of course, the final thing that I want to say, honorable members, is that our first is to invite them. They have the right to say we don't want to participate. Then we'll come back and say we've invited so-and-so, they don't, or they didn't want to participate, how do we take it forward? So this list, even in itself, is not a final list, but we'll come back and say so many people have declined, and then Parliament has the right to decide how you take it forward if we think so. But this will be our original list. Is that okay?
Just make sure your invitations.
I'm always polite, Honorable, always polite. So that deals with, I'm trying to look for my agenda, that deals then with the witness list. Can we talk then, Honorable members, because members wanted to raise it. How do we deal with intimidation of witnesses? It might be these 4 or these 8 today. It could be another 7 or 8 come next weekend. So that's why I didn't want to limit it to these. I'm saying we're going through a process. We could end up with 30 witnesses. The question is, what is this committee's role? And even if we don't have an active role to play, what recommendations can we make to who, so that this process is not discredited, sabotaged, or otherwise? What is the role of this committee? Because certainly we do not have the power to do physical protection ourselves. So let's start from that point. Ours would be to make recommendations to whatever the case might be. So that's what I want to hear from members, seeing that members brought it up earlier on. Anybody wants to talk on that subject? And I had agreed that Ms. Van Dam will be the first one because she had raised it. Chauke, you'll be the second one. And Honorable Ndlozi, you'll be the third one. Ms. Van Dam.
Thanks, Chair. I mean, I think you've covered me. Firstly, the SABC 8, there's reports that the homes are being broken into, they're being shot at. So I think they must definitely be provided security, in addition to the former board members and the former SABC staffers that we have on the witness list. We're dealing with people with mafia tendencies, and we must make sure our witnesses are protected.
No, that's fine. When you contribute Chauke and Ndlozi, you must tell us the how, so that we can debate the how. Because really, it's very important, an important matter. Just to say that somebody must protect Vincent, you're not helping anybody. Because as I said, those of us that are taking this decision can't protect Vincent. So if you can come with the how, I'll come back to you on the how, ma'am. Let's take Chauke and Ndlozi, and then just to propose the how, then let us take it from there.
Chair, my proposal, obvious, is that I think there's an urgent need that we should engage with SABS as quickly as possible, as urgent as possible as this committee. Firstly, we'll deal with the process that we are engaging in, which is going to put witness very vulnerable under attack. But secondly, again, is that currently the number of these journalists are being harassed and intimidated. And I think it's in our best interest, Chair, that we not only deal with them appearing in the committee and even outside the committee. So we'll have to, as a matter of urgent, maybe mandate yourself and or maybe other members of this committee to immediately meet with SABS, because it cannot be allowed that journalists are being intimidated and we don't hear anybody saying anything. They're on their own there, and we know that at some point they'll have to appear before this process. So we'll have to do that. We'll have to engage SABS to provide security. But again, in the processing of the hearing, Chair, you may find a situation where a witness wants to present in camera. The committee must be able to apply for an arrangement within the rules that we apply for a closed meeting at some point if you have to have a witness that does not want to be seen publicly giving out information. So we'll have to assess as we deal with our witnesses and look at those that are prepared to do it in camera and give them the necessary security so that they're able to give information. But we need to have SABS as a matter of agent on board to help us deal with this issue.
Honorable Ndlozi and then Van Dam.
I nearly said that we have found the perfect job for those bouncers in Parliament. But the Speaker will disagree. Look, it's a simple matter of the SABS, really, as a point of departure, witness protection. They've got that program, and I think that Honorable Chauke is correct, that the chairperson can then engage, I think, through the office of the Speaker for us to provide for us to request any witness protection for any witnesses that request it. Also, you can impose protection. But I think the matter of protection really is that people, we want to give South Africans a sense of confidence. The reason why people get scared is because often when they have reported, nothing happens. So we need to raise the bar here that in this case, really, we are going to be using their information to bring justice where there is no justice and so on and so forth. Otherwise, I have confidence that majority of South Africans, do want to speak. So we must sort of give a sense to those witnesses and to the entire process that it's going to be fair, but also it's going to be done in the interest of justice. That finally things that are wrong will be brought to book. Finally, again, Honorable Chauke is correct that those who would not want to speak in front of cameras, we must be able to afford them confidential interviews where they meet the committee without journalists if they don't want their names to be known, or if they want to submit evidence without their names being attached and anything, we'll decide whether the evidence is credible or not. So those are the categories so that their safety is constantly guaranteed. Otherwise, Chairperson, Honorable Chauke is really helping in this case. We have to speak to the SABC.
Thanks, Chair. Just to inform the committee, in my capacity as a member of the Communications Committee, I have already requested from the Acting National Police Commissioner that protection be provided to the SABC 8. I got feedback this morning that the matter is under consideration. And then can I just suggest that as a chairperson, then you also write an additional letter, including the rest of our witnesses, so that the matter is sped up. Thanks, Chair.
As we close it, Chair.
No, Loliwe.
Thanks, Chair. Chair, I want to make a special appeal to Honorable Van Dam. She must not always refer to her committee. Remember what the board members said about members of the committee. We are not operating on terms of her committee. We are operating as this one. We don't want to lose credibility.
Right. Yes, Chuck.
Yeah, I think the point is made already that we'll have to refrain from that. I think we need to condemn this attack of journalists, Chair, as this committee. That it must be noted that, in fact, we have to condemn this thing. That whoever that is doing this intimidation is not doing it in the best of the country and the interest of South Africa. Somehow we'll have to either issue a statement and a very strong statement, because this is done deliberately to defocus and to intimidate people who must come before this committee. We have to condemn this thing. Find a way, Chair, that our voice from this committee is put there in the public. But the police must do their work, Chair. You cannot have a situation where people are being intimidated and police simply says that, no, we can't pick up, and not even a plan that says, this is how we're going to help you. That's why it's important that you must have that meeting with SABC as a matter of urgency, Chair. Before the end of today, in fact, you have to make that contact. Thank you.
At the risk of being wrapped around the knuckles because I want to impose, I did say earlier on, knee-jerk reaction responses are really something that I don't live comfortably with. So people just after they've heard somebody raise their hand and say something else, you're going to be the absolute last Killian because nobody else has indicated they want to speak. If you decide you want to speak now, then it must be a knee-jerk reaction. So you'd be the absolute last Killian.
Chairperson, sometimes you listen, and then when formal recommendations are not put, then I just wanted clarity. So in this case, just two things. I agree with some of the members' recommendations on how we should deal with it. You could also meet with a portfolio committee on police chairperson. Once these journalists have opened cases, it would make it easier because then it is a formal process. It's part of the records of police, of SABC. Second point is just, if there is no objection to the consideration and to actually the proposal that we could meet in camera with some of the witnesses, if the members agree to that, would it be possible that we can proceed and give also the nod to you and the team that will be dealing with and engaging with the witnesses to say, if they are concerned about their safety, this committee would in fact consider to meet them in camera. That would make it easier, Chairperson, because in the end, we would like to get as much information as possible, and we would not like members of the public who have information, who are available to actually come before the committee, to be too scared and intimidated because of their lives and their livelihood. So I would like to just know if we have an in-principle agreement as a committee that we can proceed on that basis. Thank you, Chair.
I think there's an in-principle agreement subject to the powers that be that would come and say to us, it's not how it's done in Parliament, but I think we've got a strong enough case to make an argument. I don't think that decision lies entirely with us, but I think in principle we agree that it's about making sure that everybody is free to come and give evidence. Remember, we are not accusing anybody, it's about gathering evidence. So in principle, I think we will agree. We will look at the modalities and the requirements thereof. And I'm hoping then, honourable members, that concludes our list. It's probably now up to about 30 names if everybody agrees to come to this committee. So we will work on the basis of those names, and as and when people request that theirs must be in camera or only in writing or their names withheld, before we take a decision on the table, we'll come back to you and say to you, this is the request, and we'll get your blessings in that regard or otherwise. That's what will happen, honourable members. Then just on this point, when I say we, I'm talking about myself and those that are supporting the committee, are of the view that witnesses, this list that we're looking at, outside of the board members, are entitled for their legal representatives. In fact, everybody's entitled to have their legal representatives here. But we're not going to pay the bill for the legal representation. Secondly, when Vincent comes with his legal representative, he's not going to keep quiet and the legal representative talk on his behalf. He's going to talk to us. He can confer with his legal or her legal representative, but we will expect Vincent to talk to the committee. So those are the points that we've put, and I think you do have a letter, honourable members, from the lawyers asking those very questions. We are raising it because we intend responding formally to the lawyers, and our response will, if you give us the blessings, basically say that legal representation can be present, but it's not for the account of Parliament. Legal representative can be present, but they're not going to substitute the witness in terms of the major part of the engagement. So I thought we'd put that to you on the table, and if we have your agreement, we will try and draft a letter. I mean, most of the other parts of the letter, or responding to the other questions, we've already dealt with, and we've got an idea what you're agreeing to in terms of when will people be interviewed, when will they be notified. Those are part of the request, and that we seem to have discussed in our engagement so far, and we'll use that as a point when we respond to these members. Is that okay with the honourable members in terms of how we deal with the legal advice that witnesses will get in terms of payment and their interaction? Any disagreement on that point? If not, I will draft a letter responding formally to the legal assistance of our potential witnesses in that vein, and then take it from there. And if there's anything that comes from there, we will share with you. I can, at this point, make an undertaking, honourable members, that there's nothing that we will do without sharing with you. The spade work we will do, but we will come back to you and say we've done A, B, C, and D. Are you comfortable with it? So there's nothing that we will do without referring to you if we think it is necessary. And I'm hoping that that then deals with all matters that members were expecting us to deal with thus far. If there's anything else, please raise it. Otherwise, we will then adjourn until the 29th of November, by when you would have received everything that you would require until then. But in the meantime, we will be doing work in the background. So if members want to add anything to assist us in ensuring that this process is able to stand the test of time, please raise it now. Ma'am Van Dam.
Thanks, Chair. Sorry to take us back. I just want to be clear about the program so that we can already start clearing our diaries. So we're going to meet from the 29th. Actually, I'd like to suggest that we meet from the 27th on the Monday and meet all the way through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, caucus day. We can request permission from our caucuses to be present for this important committee through weekends until we, such as time we've completed our work. I just want to be clear that's what's going to happen.
Any other comments? Can I just, before you move on, it's really not in our hands. Some of this is about availability of witnesses. But that's why I said earlier on, the sentiment is that we will compress it as far as is possible. And that's why we want to write letters as soon as tomorrow to say this is what we want to do. There was also a suggestion that get a sense of who is going to be talking on what matter, so that those that are talking about finance will have their slot, and we agreed to this. Those that are talking to HR will have their slot. Those that are talking gender will have their slot. So it's very difficult right now to come up with a definitive program. Safe to say that we will compress it as far as is humanly possible at this point. Yes, ma'am.
Chair, can we please also not use the word compress, because it creates the impression that we want to rush the process, we're going to squeeze a lot of work into a small space of time. We want additional time to make sure that we do a thorough process, and we do so before Parliament rises. We're not compressing it, we're not rushing it, we're just wanting to have extra time so that we deal with the issues facing the SABC before Parliament rises.
I think the point is noted. Let me take away that word compressed. Please, those that are in the media, just don't put compressed under my name. You know what I meant. I meant that we're going to try, not rush it, but we're going to try and reach a conclusion as soon as is humanly possible, not taking away fairness, not taking away thoroughness, and not taking away anything else. I think that's what members are saying here. So it's not compressed, it's about doing that. Also, Parliament rises on the 9th of December. I don't want to raise expectations here that by the 9th of December we will have it done. That's when Parliament rises. That's why I'm saying I take the sentiments. I'm not going to allow you, Ms. Van Dam. I'm really not going to allow you. We're going to take the sentiments that we want to solve it as soon as possible, but don't walk out of here saying that it's going to be done by the 9th of February, by the 9th of when we rise from Parliament. We will do as best as we can under the circumstances, because we are dealing with many people, and we've got 8 or 7 days of preparation work up front. If we can conclude this thing by the 9th, so be it. We will conclude it by the 9th, but we want to be thorough in our job. So I'm hoping that that tries and wraps up the sentiment. I see Honourable Ndozi. Please, sir, yes.
No, Chairperson, it's a different point. Do you know, I'm looking at the way you are dealing with Honourable Van Dam. A lot of young black women watch Parliament. And the way I just want to request the Chairperson to reconsider the way you are handling. And because I'm moving forward, I wanted to raise it privately, but I think I must raise it open, because the next time we'll have to blast. It's just not, it's too dismissive, Honourable Chairperson. And I don't think it warrants for a very good image of young black women in Parliament. I think she's been making very excellent points, and every time, even if she's rising when you have concluded, I really don't think we must dismiss her in that way, Honorable Chairperson. I'm saying that in kind because I also have confidence in you as chair. So I'm just warning that it has not been coming out very well. I don't know what she did. I have not been around, but she's been dismissed over and over and over and over again. It's not good, Honorable Chairperson. She must be heard as equally as everyone. Thank you very much.
No, let me. I'm not going to allow you, Honorable Chauke, for now. Let me just speak. I'm not. Let me apologize if I've done that first, but let me also indicate that as chair, I would expect people to talk when I've recognized them. And I'm not saying anything else. So, yes, let me apologize, and it was never intentional. But as I was making points, there were continuous disruptions. So, but I will take constructive criticism, Honorable Ndlozi, and thank you very much. I certainly didn't intend to be dismissive to anybody, but then it must be two ways. We must respect each other so that the process moves forward. So, Honorable Van Dam, unconditional apology, and every other young South African who might feel offended, I apologize. I apologize. Can I, at this point, if there's nothing else, Honorable Chauke, this point is dealt with.
I'm an elder. I need to speak on the last point. No. Chair, I think what is important is that, and the point raised by Honorable Ndlozi, it's very important that we need to find each other, all of us. We must just find each other, have a way in which we understand one another and be able to deal with this big task that is facing us, because the challenge is so big, and it's important that let's build bridges, let's have some kind of a understanding amongst ourselves, then I think we'll be able to break through easily. Yeah, thank you, Chair.
Thanks, everybody, for their support, and we'll all support each other. Also, just in closing, to indicate, honorable members, from where I'm sitting, it's really about ensuring that Parliament takes its rightful place as an equal but autonomous arm of the state. And that at the end of this process, at least the credibility of Parliament is restored to the extent that we in this committee have contributed. We expect everybody else to contribute. So, yes, we might fight occasionally, but our fights are never going to be at the expense of Parliament doing what Parliament needs to do from all sides of the House. So let South Africans rest assured that we will work as a team. It's our first meeting. There's teething problems, but many people will soon find out that this is a team that has the same objectives, the same ideals. And until the 29th of November, honorable members, good luck. To our friends in the media, good luck. And to Cindy and Advocate Vanara and all the supporting staff, good luck. Meeting is adjourned.